Good morning. Good morning. So today is supposed to snow in London. I haven't seen any snow yet. It's about 5 o'clock in the morning, but I'm going to the gym, and later on I have my Chinese medicine gal. I've been doing acupuncture and cupping for the last 3 weeks-ish, and that's to help me with like anxieties and nervous system regulation, and also my hormones that have been all over the place for years. So I'll take you along with me. Let's have a good day. So one thing that I want to be better at and more consistent this year is literally having the energy to wake up a little bit earlier, just so I can have a breather in the morning. So do my bed, think straight, because sometimes I wake up and I'm like straight onto a meeting or straight onto a task. Like, no, we need to be able to have slow mornings, and mornings that help us think through our day a little bit more. See, that literally took me like 2 minutes to do. It is not that hard to wake up 2 minutes earlier just to do my bed. Yesterday I did one of those like reset buys, you know, like when you just need to buy a lot of things for the house. So I got one of these, the filters, but I do not get them. I don't get the burrito ones, I get the ones that are off-brand because they're usually a little bit cheaper. So now I have filtered water, and I also descaled the kettle, so it's super clean, and I'm really excited about that, because then my tea or my coffee will not have like the lime scale on top. I hate them. Just done my makeup, went to the gym, did my shreddy workout, feeling really good about myself. I did some hip thrusts, and usually those are so hard for me because I trigger the wrong muscle group, but this time I was able to do it well. So I just put on some light makeup. Yeah, if that works, that's okay. Is that good? Okay. I'm gonna put some perfume, my favorite perfume that I discovered in Paris. It's a Dries But Nothing. Love this. Look at this packaging. Are you kidding me? This is gorgeous. Look at this packaging. Anyway, it smells like a Baroque peach. That's how I can explain it. So usually I just put it in behind right here, and I find that my hair tends to absorb the perfume more than anywhere else. So I'm up for a little bit. Okay. So the plan for today is, it's 9 o'clock now. I have my appointment at exactly 10. It takes me about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour to get there. So I will go to my Chinese medicine lady, do my acupuncture session and my cupping session and see how things are going. This is my third session that I've been doing with her, and it's been amazing. I can go into details about the well-being tactics that I've been tackling during the last few months in another video maybe, but essentially we're going there and then we're walking from the Chinese medicine to St. John's, and in St. John's there's a little, I think it's Scandinavian, somewhere in that part of Northern Europe. So there's a very nice coffee place that I found just doing this route. We're gonna get in and get a little coffee and do a little bit of journaling. Okay, bye, see you. Do I have it here? And then like this, yeah. So the day was going pretty well, except when I got to the underground, there were severe disruptions everywhere, and silly, goofy old me did not check the app before. So I tried getting there via 2 different bus routes, and it did not work, so I decided to just Uber instead, and that's what I did after realizing that the buses were not working either. So I ended up in my Chinese medicine appointment just on time. I did not record while I was in there, but I think at some point I will, but I just want to make sure I'm getting the most out of my session. So I had a little walk to St. John's and I found this really interesting building. I was surprised with the brick design, how that was approved by the council, because it seems very out of character with the rest of the buildings. Usually, I'll film it in a second, but usually in this area there's a lot of red bricks, red and white bricks. But for some reason that one really stood out for me. I mean, it's not a problem, it's just different. So it's grey with like some really intricate masonry design. I thought that was really nice. The walk in St. John's Wood is always a treat. I find that we've got like these really nice Georgian terraces. I think it's Georgian, I might be misspeaking, but it's always such a treat. It feels like a village usually. And that's the coffee spot. It is the best coffee in town purely for the hospitality, really. People are so kind in there. So basically, I was able to get to my Chinese medicine appointment. It took me literally like 2 attempts on the Jubilee line and 2 bus attempts, and then nothing was working, so I just took an Uber, which is an absolute privilege. I got there on time, but basically like she puts the needles on my head right here, on my stomach, on my knees, and on my hand, some on my back sometimes when I have to like turn around, and also on my feet. So those are my points, and we usually just like talk through how to unblock those points. She gave me some really good insights on like how to be more demanding with life. You know, like you need to be black and white when you have to be black and white, but you also need to be more proactive in other parts of your life, which is interesting because just a few days before I was learning about dharma. So what's your dharma in life? I don't know, I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm using ChatGPT to help me interpret my natal chart, my birth chart, to see if I can find like what all of this means. I do have, I think it was the planet of work. Was it planet? Yes, I do. I have a planet of work in my first house, which makes a lot of sense because I'm very, hang on, my back is hurting. Which makes a lot of sense because I am a little bit of a workaholic, especially when it comes to the things that I really like. I tend to obsess over work, and work can come in several different forms. It doesn't have to be like employed work, you know, anything that is considered an activity that I really like, I tend to obsess over, you know. But anyway, so she goes through like a few strategies with me on how to unblock, and then there's also like a meditation bit. So I'm not allowed to have any cold foods or cold drinks. Iced coffee, no more. Everything needs to be very warm. And she encouraged me to go to the sauna more often, which is funny because I used to gravitate to the sauna anyway. I was already going like once a week. Now I'm going a little bit more, twice a week. Twice, 3 times a week. Because I need to be nourishing my, oh, I'm gonna get this wrong. Is it yin? No. I need to be nourishing my warmer part in my soul and in my body. Right now I have too much cold, and it makes sense because of the things that I had to go through in the last few years. It required me to be very cold and very stern and very, you know, have to prove my point on absolutely everything. So it made sense, like life required that coldness in me. Now it doesn't require so much, and I am allowed to be warmer. I am allowed to be more inviting to the softer things in life. But anyway, so what I wanted to say is that I got there eventually. I think I'll have like a separate video just addressing my Chinese medicine experience. But essentially that cafe that I was in, I was taking my B-roll, writing on my little notebook, you know. I wrote down basically, you won't be able to see everything so too clearly, but I wrote down basically everything that I want to do in terms of gym. So I've got my routine down to the minute, and I've actually been following quite well. Like these are things that I was already doing previously to writing them down, so I've been doing them quite well. I actually have a tracker down there, but so this was just to like put on paper how much that I actually have on my day to do those activities, and allocate like in the morning, or yeah, to allocate the times as well. So most of them are in the morning. I don't want to do any exercise at night, just because there's a lot of steps that come after doing the exercise. So you have to take a shower, you have to like blow dry your hair, you have to do your skincare, like there's just so many things. I don't want to worry about that, so I will do it in the morning before starting work. But anyway, as I was writing all these things in my little lovely papier journal, the guy that was preparing the coffees at the back, he came up to me. He was like, when I was about to leave, he was like, can I just ask you, why are you filming so much? And I told him like, oh, I'm trying to start a YouTube channel. And he searched me up. I wasn't discoverable. I think maybe the settings of my account is, or maybe I haven't got a video just yet. I'm just editing my first video. But maybe, like, I don't know, but it wasn't discoverable yet, which made me think like, oh my goodness, I have to be really smart about this. Do I need to start a new account? I don't know. Hopefully by the time I'm editing this, I will have figured out. And he gave me a brownie for good luck. He literally gave me a brownie for good luck. He took it out of the till and said, this is a good luck brownie. I hope that everything works out, and I want you to come here again and tell me when you've uploaded your first video. I have no idea what his name is. I wish I had asked, but very, very kind. The experience, I've only been to this coffee place twice, and the experience I've had there both times were just amazing. They really take the time to get to know the people, and St. John's is a relatively small neighborhood, so I think they're really trying to nurture that community feel. But anyway, I thought it was so sweet. I will eat it now, and I went elsewhere to meet my mum, and I told her all about it. I was like, oh my goodness. And you know what? There's something really special about a stranger wishing you luck, and a stranger kind of believing in you. I don't know, I feel there's something special, you know? Like there's something, it's a specific feeling when someone you love is rooting for you, and there's a specific feeling when a stranger does it. It comes from different perspectives. Obviously your friends and your family, they know you quite well and they want the best for you. But a stranger, it's kind of like you convince them in a way, and they believe in you even though they don't know you. I think, anyway, I'm probably rambling now, but I think there's something really special about that. He asked me as well, he was like, what is it that you're trying to show in your videos? And I said, what is it that you're gonna talk about in your channel? And I said, buildings, because I love buildings. I love the built environments. That's what I work with. And his face was just hilarious because he was not expecting that. I don't know, do I look like someone who would talk about other things? Maybe, I don't know. But see, that's another thing I'm trying to uncover, my dharma. Over the years, I felt that there's such a disconnect between how I feel and how I perceive how I feel and how I perceive myself versus how other people perceive me. And sometimes in the past that used to get me really offended. I'm trying to figure out with my dharma, and maybe my dharma is speaking up more and representing myself more so that karma doesn't happen. Maybe, I don't know, that's what I'm trying to figure out. But anyway, that's what I wanted to say. My notebook and my brownie, both good luck assets. I don't know, but yeah, I'll see you later.